Hello, and welcome to another episode of Millionaires Are Made, where we believe you can grow to be a millionaire in all 6 aspects of health. That's right. Every Wednesday, we share tips on how to improve your physical, mental, intellectual, social, spiritual, and like today's episode, your financial health. Today, we're focusing on how to improve your financial health with cash flow, baby. If you have never seen Millionaires Are Made, this is the show built on the fundamental beliefs that every person you meet knows something you don't, and there's something to be learned from everyone in this big, beautiful world. Here at Millionaires Are Made, we are on a mission to teach the world how to grow into the healthiest, happiest millionaires in all 6 aspects of health. They say it's all about teaching a man to fish, and we take that literally here. So we went out and got 3 awesome guests to give 3 awesome tips on how to improve your financial health with cash flow. In the spirit of authenticity, we don't talk about tips or advice before the show starts. So what you're about to hear from our guests is going to be the first time that we hear them as well. It's going to be exciting. Audience, this is an interactive show, so please do not feel afraid to ask questions or drop comments. We will put them live and respond to them or ask them to our guests throughout the show. Guests, we are always looking for guests. So on our mission to have 8 billion people on the show sharing tips on how to grow, that includes you. And I know you have something to share. We all do. So please check the link out below, sign up, and let's get you on the show as a guest. And it's going to be awesome, and you'll help make the world a better place. Topics is another thing we have a lot of help we need for. If you are going through something in your life that maybe is a little difficult or a little tough, or maybe you're feeling a tiny bit lost, give us your topic idea. We will go find 3 awesome guests to give you 3 awesome tips to help you through that little hump in life. And quick shout out, it's 2026, and just like every other show in the world, please show some love, like, share, comment, subscribe, send stars, tweet, whatever you're watching us on, helps us out a lot. A couple of new awesome things. We do have new merchandise, like this sweet shirt we have. We're dropping that link right now. Go check it out and grab some merch, help support the cause. We also are building courses. Not only have we hit the top 100 Apple Podcasts in the first 2 years, we're almost on episode 250 and almost 2.5 years into this thing. But if you want to learn how we've done it, we would love for you to have your own show. And now we are launching courses on exactly how we did it. Just a couple more things. So one thing I love to do is meet one-on-one and help you grow. So if you think that spending all week learning from the smartest people in the world is helpful, I do free growth sessions. I would love to hang out for a little bit. I'm dropping that link right now. Sign up, let's talk, hang out, see if we can connect some things. And our final announcement before our sponsors is that we are launching this year our next step in the show. Called Billionaires Are Made. It's going to be a one-on-one show with some of our guests from Millionaires Are Made that will be invited into that next rendition. So stay tuned for when that launches here in the next month or so, and we'll get you even more tips and advice on how to grow. That being said, thank you so much to our sponsors for having this show and helping it grow. We couldn't do it without you. First, one of our longest running sponsors that we love so much is Sarah Jones. Sarah has a great story. Her and her husband used to be buried in debt and were not so happy with each other. It got so bad eventually they stopped listening to a guru coach, wiped it all clean, and learned and relearn everything. Now they have built a great financial foundation, and they help guide couples, individuals, and small businesses to build fun, healthy money habits. If you have any sort of struggle with money and or marriage, go check them out. They now travel the U.S. in a giant RV with like 6 cars attached. It's kind of entertaining to watch them. Our next sponsor is Parent Win Solutions. Parenting is tough, and no one warned you that half of it feels like you're just guessing. Parent Win Solutions is the partner you wish you had on day one. No lessons plans to memorize and no videos to binge. Just simple steps that cut stress and help you connect with your child without losing your mind. If you want a calmer home and a guide who actually gets what life looks like, this is your place. Check out Parent Win Solutions. Our next sponsor is Bonnie Hartle. Bonnie is a women's empowerment coach in Atlanta, Georgia, specializing in mindset, gratitude, and personal development. Bonnie offers a unique approach, combining her vision boards and the wheel of life. Plus, she manages her Atlanta Airbnb property that hosts her retreats. Go check out Bonnie right now. Links being dropped. And our final sponsor for now is Brian Wright. Brian is the publishing guru we know. If you want to get your brand in front of high-level entrepreneurs and personal growth leaders, reach out to Brian at Ultimate Achievers Magazine, where industry icons meet a content-first audience. We do have a couple more sponsors we'll get to later in the show, but for now, it's time to bring out our first guest here. We're super excited to have him back. His name is Ben. Ben, tell us, who are you?
Hey, brother, glad to be back. I am one of the happiest and most grateful people you'll ever meet. My grandson calls me Pops. My kids call me all sorts of names. My wife calls me other names. But in the end, I'm just happy to have them all.
All right, Ben, I've got an important question for you. If I wanted to improve my financial health with cash flow, what simple piece of advice would you give me?
Well, great. Yeah, use your cash flow, your current cash flow, as leverage.
Tell me more.
Okay, so you can take, okay, I'm going to assume that you're not Dave Ramsey and that you do have some debt, okay? I'm going to assume that first, and I'm going to show you how to use a line of credit instead of installment loans to pay off the same debt you would have anyway, faster, and by paying less interest in the end, even though interest rates on line of credits are higher than they are on loans. It's because of the way they're structured, right? Now, money moves in and out of a line of credit freely. You can put money in, and as soon as you pay off a debt, you can start using that money again. If you paid extra money towards a loan, what happens? That money gets tied up in that loan. You can't take it back out unless you refinance it, which is expensive, right? Or completely pay it off and sell the item that you had the loan for. So,
all right, hold right there, Ben. Let's try to break this down nice and simple for those that may or may not be well versed in finances. Typical mortgage, if you pay extra in the month, it goes towards your principal. What Ben is saying is that money, it may reduce the amount you owe, and it may reduce your total amount paid on the house. But once that money is paid into that mortgage, that's the final line for that. Ben is talking about a line of credit, which is a different way where you can put money into it, and it can help reduce your balance, but you can also pull money back out. And like it'll increase your balance, but it has the flexibility of where your money is at that time. Is that correct, Ben?
That's right. So just like a credit card, when you pay it off early, what happens? There's less interest they can charge you throughout the month. So what we're talking about is using your line of credit as your checking account. All right. So it makes way more sense when you look at it through how much quicker you can pay things off. Because when you pay to a line of credit, the money goes to the principal first, right? When you pay for a loan, what happens? The first half of the loan, most of your money is paid towards the interest, which is bank profits, right? It's not paying down the loan. You're just paying the interest. With a line of credit, the same amount of debt, you make a payment on it, the money goes towards what first? It goes towards the principal. And every time you pay towards the principal, the amount of money, the interest they can charge you each month keeps going down. So put the same amount of money into a loan and the same amount of money into a line of credit. Well, the loan balance slowly decreases and the line of credit balance decreases a lot faster. Basically, this was something that everybody used to do until about 1913, when banks got together and said, hey, installment loans will make us a whole lot more money. We can do that a lot easier. So they segregate our money into checking, savings, and loans. That lets them borrow more money from the Federal Reserve. So that's why they did it in the first place. They didn't mean to make more interest. They just wanted more money to borrow to people. And so what using a line of credit does is allows you to resegregate your money, which just means the bank isn't in control of how much interest you pay anymore. You are. And if you can use a line of credit instead of a loan to pay down the same amount of debt, you'll pay less interest and you'll pay it off a lot faster. That works for homes. car loans, any kind of borrowed money, it works for.
All right, great tip. Ben, where in your life journey did you learn this tip?
I actually learned it from a company called Replace Your University, and they teach a lot of financial tips. That's just one of many ways. They are showing you how to make your cash flow through everything correctly so that you end up with more wealth in the end. The bank doesn't own it, you do.
I love it. Thank you so much, Ben. We're going to move on to our next guest, Terri, and we'll bring you back out in the round robin.
Thanks, all.
Big shout out for Ben. Thank you. Terri, tell us, who are you?
Well, thanks for having me. Terri Maxwell here, and I'm going to spin off of what he said. I actually have the word grateful.
Hold on one second. I'm going to ask you a very important question, Terri. If I wanted to improve my financial health with cash flow, what simple piece of advice would you give me?
Most founder cash flow issues are related to either pricing or their business model, which is when they charge, when they deliver their product, and when clients pay you. Negative cash flow means you're paying cash out at a faster rate than you're collecting it. And larger clients usually have longer payment terms. If you're paying your bills before your clients pay you, which I see all the time, you will have negative cash flow, and you can't make that up with more revenue.
Do you have any specific industries you see that more often in?
I see it a lot in services, training, consulting, coaching, where the client's paying them after they're paying their resources. I see it a lot in financial services businesses. You'd think that they would have that down, but frequently they're collecting later than when they're paying their bills. And you really do have to reverse that. You create positive cash flow by paying your bills after you receive clients. And one of the simple billing changes you can make is move to a retainer model versus billing on an hourly basis.
Makes sense. All right. So retainers. And so this is mostly for consultants and coaches. Obviously attorneys are. So you were saying something you were bouncing off of tip. You want to go back to that?
Yeah. When people ask me who I am, I say grateful. And I actually have the word tattooed, grateful, to my arm to remind me just how to be grateful for everything.
Oh man, I thought you were going to go into your tip. I jumped the gun there. Oh no. All right. Well, do you want to give us a little more advice on the cash flow? So typically a net 30, do you say that you recommend net 30 for your clients? And what services you're paying? Give us a little more enlightenment on how to fix cash flow for businesses that have payment plans with their customers.
You really want to create a business model and a pricing model where you're collecting the money as quickly as possible, either at the beginning of the month or no later than net 15. Most clients are going to want to do net 45. And that's fine. But if it's net 45, you need to negotiate the same terms with the people that you're paying. And so when we have a business where our cash flow is slower, then we negotiate with our providers a slower cash flow. So we're receiving the money before we pay it out.
All right. I've got a fun little tidbit that may be really niche, but I'm going to ask anyways. Do you ever recommend or see small businesses that change their payment plans based on their season if they're a seasonal company? I say that because I live in a super touristy island with hurricane season. How would that possibly change cash flow agreements at that point?
I see it not just with seasonal, but I see people accepting worse cash flow terms when they need cash. It's fascinating to me, the things that we do. And you've got to reverse that. Right. And so it's like, I need cash because of the season, or I need cash because I've got negative cash flow. So I'm going to accept this deal at worse cash flow terms because I need the cash. But in reality, you've got the revenue, you don't have the cash.
Yeah, that is tough. We could get into 7,000 episodes just on immediacy of cash needs, even personally, and paycheck loans and all the terrible things we can do when we need money and we're behind on a bill. And oh man, predatory lending. Wow. All right. We got a lot of episodes coming up. Terri, where on your life journey did you learn this piece of advice?
So in my first startup, way back in 2002, I'm older than I look, we got a large client and they had 45-day payment terms. I was so happy we got this client, but we paid our people within 15 days. So that meant I was floating the cash for 30 full days. The client then added more services with us. In a few months, their bill rate was $1 million a year. On the surface, that seemed great. I have $1 million client, but that's $80K a month. But that meant that I was floating close to $160,000 a month, and we were not prepared to handle it. It almost killed the company. And I thought I had to accept those terms because it's a big client and they're adding services, and you don't. Now we require net 15, no matter how large the client is. And then other than employees, we pay net 30. So we stay cash flow positive most months.
Yeah, this is huge. Yeah, so if you are struggling with little cash flow issues, small to medium in businesses, it sounds like there's lots of desire if a big contract comes in. You're like, oh my gosh, this is like 20% of my revenue. I'd love to sign this agreement. And they're like, we're a big company. We do net 30, net 45. And you want to sign it so bad. So, and sometimes it may not be the best, like Terri just explained. So if you are having cash flow issues or you're worried about the big player in your niche that may want to do business with you, but they have their own terms, maybe go check out Terri and send her a message real quick and see if there's a polite letter you can respond with or something of that sort. Terri, thank you so much. We are going to move on to our next guest. Bart. Hey, Bart, tell us, who are you?
Yes, I am Bart Merrill. I am the Side Hustle Samurai. I've never had a real job. I've just lived life by doing side hustles. Anything that crosses my path, good, bad, or ugly, I always ask the question, can I monetize it? I don't monetize everything, but I always ask that question.
Man, you sound like me a lot, Bart. I love a little side hustle, growing it into an automated revenue stream. That's my life. All right, Bart, tell me this. If I wanted to improve my financial health with cash flow, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
Is this a surprise? It would be to start a side hustle. And how do you find your ideal side hustle? You're going to ask 3 questions.
Nice.
What do you like to do? What do you need to do? What are you already doing? And you're going to make lists of those items. Don't think about, can I monetize it? We'll refine the list later. But make these lists, and then you go back and you do your homework on each thing. Can I monetize this thing, and what will it take? Once you find something that you might want to monetize, you got to ask yourself, okay, I got to give up this, whatever it is, the resources, the time, the effort, the money to get this side hustle started. To get this, do I want to do that? A lot of times I hear people say, oh, I wish I was Bezos or Mark Cuban or whatever billionaire you think of. And I just kind of go, are you willing to do what they did? Mark Cuban slept on many people's sofas for the first part of his career. Is that something that is that the lifestyle you want?
Yeah.
But you need you need to make those lists so that you don't miss anything. Don't leave anything on the table.
Yeah, and that's something I definitely try to explain to a lot of people, that if you want to be financially free and wealthy, a lot of times there's a lot of sacrifice. But like you said, side hustles can be really easy. A lot of times you can just turn something that you hate, like there's so many examples, but turn something that you hate spending money on, and if you add a little more effort, maybe 5 to 10 hours a week, you can turn that into an asset rather than a liability. Or like you said, something you're already doing, you just do a little bit more. Like if you love cooking and you make your family meals, maybe you make twice as much and you sell the rest as meal prep. And it turns your cooking into a little extra cash in there. And maybe it covers the cost of all your food. And now you just cook and don't have to pay for food anymore, something of that sort. What's your favorite side hustle you're currently doing, Bart?
Oh, gosh. So you may not know this, but I had my leg amputated in 2024.
Oh, wow. Okay. Recent.
And when I found out that I was going to have it amputated, After the shock and awe was over, I said, okay, I don't like this, but it has to happen. It's going to happen. So how do I monetize it?
Oh,
6
wow.
months
Okay.
post-op, I contracted with my prosthetist to help people go through what it is that I went through, because it's not easy. I mean, there were so many questions that I had whenever I found out that this was going to happen, and I had no one to talk to. And so one of the prosthetists that I interviewed before I chose mine had a guy that I could talk to. Well, my guy didn't have a guy. And I said, Scott, your competition has a guy. You don't have a guy. I'm your guy.
I'm the guy.
And I said, Scott, I don't want a job. I don't want to come into the office. I want to be on retainer so that you send me the names and I talk to them. I go visit them. If even sometimes after their surgery, I'll go to the hospital. But now my side hustle samurai is right here on my leg.
Oh, man. All right.
It's tax deductible.
Okay, so you proved that you are the side hustle. Okay, side hustle what?
Samurai.
Side hustle samurai. Gets his leg amputated, turns it into some extra cash. That's amazing. Does a retainer, just like Terri was telling us. Wow, I love when shows come together like that. I open these cards real quick because this is one of my side hustles, the Insta Farm. And I got really tired of not having fresh herbs in my house, so we eventually built this, and now we sell them all over the world. It turned into much more than a side hustle, but essentially that's where it started, was me trying to grow plants simply, fast, and automated in my house. And after years, we just built our own. So that's why I brought that out. But Bart, we are going to run into the round robin. So we're going to bring everyone else out and have some fun here. Audience, this is a great time to ask questions and or comments. And I guess we will start with Ben. Do you quickly want to refresh what your tip was for us?
That's right. Just turn your current cash flow into leverage. So you can save 80, 90% of the interest you would be otherwise paying.
That's fascinating. Terri, what are your thoughts on Ben's tip?
I think Ben's spot on, and I think it's one of those things you have to think about in your personal life and in your business.
For sure.
Yeah, I agree. Anytime you can eliminate interest and increase cash flow, I think those are pretty big things to look for. Bart, what are your thoughts on Ben's tip?
It's spot on.
I love it. Now, this has been really well documented by other people. I'm not the expert on it, but I did share a link to the show, my personal link, so that the CEO of the company I used to work for can explain it to you in a lot easier terms than I can. And so I just want people to not get ripped off by banks. That's all I'm doing this for. I just want to see people saving the maximum amount of money so they can give it to their offspring. They can leave it to their kids in the will. They can build up a real estate portfolio like I'm doing while paying 80%, 90% less interest than I would have with a mortgage, or paying off a car with, half the interest that you would be paying on an auto loan. Just using a simple tool called a line of credit.
You make it sound so easy. It's a little bit more difficult, but Ben is a good resource if you're interested.
Yeah.
Terri, can you refresh what your tip was for us?
Yeah, get your billing and business model lined up so that you're collecting the money before you're paying it out. And although on the surface everyone thinks, well, of course, the vast majority of founders are doing the reverse, where they're paying the money before they're receiving it.
Can we even try to turn this into personal life? Trying to make sure your bills are paid after you get paid and try to time that a little bit better.
I think all facets of your life, it should look like that. And I think we accept whatever we're given, as opposed to what I love about your show. It's create what it is that you want and expect that you can have it.
Yeah, we've got some interesting tips going on. We got to replace your mortgage, negotiate with your bills about when you get paid, all sorts of fun stuff. And then, just get an amputated leg and start a new business out of it. Speaking of which, Bart, can you quickly refresh what your tip was for us?
Don't overlook the opportunities that are all around you.
Nice.
A lot of people, they're too close and they don't see their opportunities. So open your mind and just realize that you have something that people need help with.
I love it. Yeah, if you're good at something, skills are not everyone has every skill. And if you've got a skill, you can always monetize it in about 7 different ways. Ben, what are your thoughts on Bart's tip and Terry's tip?
I love that Bart's curiosity allows him to look at all these different things that he's got access to and then monetize them. That is a founder's mentality, and I see that a lot in very successful people. So definitely take Bart's ideas seriously, because that's how you make it. And what Terry's talking about, on a simpler level, at least to my brain, because I've got to make it like 5th grade level for this brain to understand it, is make sure that before your money goes out, you've got the money coming in to cover it. And that's, if you work with other businesses, they're going to do their best to make sure that you're the one going in debt and paying interest for their services so that they don't have to pay the interest. You've got to watch out for yourself first, because that's what other businesses are already doing. So if you want to survive, you want to get that little percentage extra for yourself instead of giving it to some other business, make sure you got money coming in to cover what you've got going out first. That's so smart.
Yeah, timing of money, that's a big tip there, Terry, even in your personal life. Figuring out, making sure stuff's coming in before it goes right back out. All right, we got a question from the audience we're going to go over before we do our daily challenge. What does healthy cash flow actually look like in a personal life? What a question. Who wants to take that?
When you spend less than you make.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's true.
We can't,
what if
can't be like the government.
No. We can't print money when we want to.
Man, wouldn't that be nice if we were all our own little feds? So let's talk a little bit about this. I mean, we tried to bring it up, but like a healthy cash flow. So what are some expenses that you may have? Let's say your mortgage, and that is pretty much going to be set once a month. Actually, I think that there are programs out there you can negotiate. Well, obviously Ben's program, but you can negotiate to pay every 2 weeks. You can make various different payments. And so that might be options that you have if you get paid every 2 weeks, to make sure that your paycheck comes in and maybe 2 days later your mortgage, half-month mortgage is due, something of that sort. What are other ways to get healthier cash flow in a personal life? Anyone have any ideas?
I've got one, and it really hurts me to say it, but I gave up my Mercedes, and now I'm driving a Honda with 300,000 miles on it so that I can live closer to the beach. So sometimes you give up one thing you want to get something else that you want.
True. I mean, cash flow is your car payment.
And I would say start a side hustle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there's 2 things to cash flow, right? You can either increase your revenue and you make more money with a side hustle or some other hobby that you may have that you can monetize, or you can decrease expenses. So you can live farther from the beach or get rid of a fancy car, or shop health insurance, or your cell phone plan. Those cell phone plans, if you call their retention line, they usually have some good deals. Even I was canceling like Disney Plus, and they're like, hey, if you sign up for 6 more months, we'll give it to you like 20%. I was like, all right, I guess I'll take 80% off. I'm like, man, I guess I have to set an alarm and do this every 6 months now and see what kind of deals they give you. But
when you're in the States, you can switch like I did from T-Mobile, $260 a month for 5 lines, and switch over to Mint Mobile, which is owned by T-Mobile. And I paid $360 for unlimited everything for 2 lines for the entire year. Hello, cash flow. I just saved over $200 a month.
Yeah, and cell phones, the companies, they pay a lot to switch over. They'll like pay off your phones and all sorts of stuff. It's a cutthroat market out there. All right, guys, we got one last thing to do before we wrap this episode up. We have to come up with our daily challenge. So this is a task, and oh man. Well, we have a request. We've never done this before, ever. We got a request to have the same guests on a side hustle episode. So we will work on, I guess, figuring that out. I feel like we definitely have to have the side hustle samurai on there, but Terry and Ben can join too. So we'll figure out logistics and sort that out later. Thank you for that question. We have had side hustle 1 to 2 episodes before. So if you check out our YouTube channel, you can see what past people have said, but we can always create another one with new guests. That's the beauty of the show, is every time there's new guests, you never know what the tips are going to be. And there's always thousands of tips for just about everything. moving on. Thank you so much for that 3YT. Daily challenge. We must come up with a task and or a series of tasks that take less than 5 minutes a day, cost $0, is available to everyone in the world, that helps us improve our financial health regarding cash flow. What ideas do you guys have?
I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
So those 3 lists that I was talking about are not one and done list. It is a growing list that every day you can sit and think, okay, what am I overlooking, and grow that list. And that's not going to take more than 5 minutes a day. It doesn't cost you anything. I just want people to be aware of the stuff that they're already doing that they could monetize, and think about those things and do your research on each one.
I love it.
Okay, so let's think of something that you love doing. Think of a write down. Let's do write down each day. Write down something you already enjoy doing that potentially could
But
be.
don't forget the stuff you need to do. I didn't enjoy getting my leg cut off, but it is something that is very profitable to me right now.
I love that you can laugh about it. That makes me very happy.
That's really good. I like it's the abundance mindset. We're not saying, oh, let's cut our budget to the bone and be miserable. We're saying, let's find more ways to increase revenue, right? That's the abundance mindset. That's fantastic. I like that one.
I like something about the timing of money. I mean, Terri made a great point, and with businesses, obviously, that's awesome. But it could. I mean, I like something about timing. If you could move your bills around or something of that sort. I also like to negotiate about. There's a lot we can do here. We only got 5 minutes. All right, so I think we have probably about 2.5 minutes done. I think that we, try to think of something with timing. See if we can spread a bill out. Imagine if you could talk to your cell phone company, instead of paying once a month, you pay exactly 30 days or 31 days. That would be pretty fascinating. I guess just spend a minute looking at it, or think of a bill that you have every month that you might be able to move to a better cash flow place. Okay.
Yes.
Think of a bill you potentially could move to a better cash flow timing. That's pretty fascinating. And then, I guess those kind of talk about yours, Ben, that kind of incorporates them in there.
Use a line of credit so that you're always putting all of your money in a line of credit like you would your checking account. And then you're waiting until the very last second to pay your bills out of that account. So you keep the maximum amount of money in the account at all times. Paycheck goes in early, bills go out very late, and that means you're suppressing interest the entire time. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I think that kind of helps the cash flow timing too, So that could be definitely that one's probably going to take 2 or 3 days of just like focusing and learning. Moving a cell phone bill is a little easier, but cash flow timing with line of credits versus mortgage is huge. Awesome. All right. Any last? Go ahead.
And I help people with this for free. You don't have to pay me for me to teach you a little bit about this. So contact me through Facebook. I'm happy to show you the ropes.
Love it. Everyone here, we posted their Facebook and links. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us if you need to contact them. We do have a comment. Bart can be a good mental health coach. I definitely agree with that. Holy cow. Yeah. And with that being said, we're going to put you backstage and wrap all this up. Thank you all so much, Terri, Bart, and Ben. You guys were amazing out here. And thank you all so much for watching. It was an awesome show. Had a great time. Real quick before we do, we got 2 more sponsors. It's been a great year and our show's moving on. First, we want to big shout out to Brian Parana, who founded the Call to Rise Ultimate 100-Day Fat Loss Challenge for men 40 and over. Drop 20 to 30 pounds, skyrocket your energy, and transform your body with personalized nutrition and strength training. Join the Brotherhood of Unstoppable Men. His link's being dropped right now. And our final sponsor, who is also on the show today, is Ben Thinking About Your Health. He also does the line of credit mortgages. If you have any question about how to switch your mortgage and save money, shoot him a message. His link's being dropped right now. Ben offers nationwide PPO health insurance with the freedom to choose any doctor. It's ideal for healthy individuals and businesses. Their cost-effective, tax-deductible plans provide top-tier coverage while saving you money. Go to benthinkingaboutyourhealth.com. Man, we learned a lot about cash flow, and we also learned that we can do a few more episodes because there's so much to cover it. So if you're struggling with cash flow, hopefully some of these tips helped. Check out some of our previous episodes or shoot us a topic and we'll do another episode just for you. And that pretty much sums up our show.